This presentation is on Android, and which is very popular and also which would be very useful, and this is aimed for the beginners to Android. So let's begin. This is the basic agenda of the presentation, and here we discuss what is Android up to the project structure of Android, and also this includes a demonstration for setting up the Android environment for an Android application with the first Android program. So, what is Android? Android is an open source Linux-based operating system for mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets, and it is developed by this Open Handset Alliance, OHA, which is led by Google. Actually, Google purchased the initial developer of the Android software in 2005, and the first beta version of Android was announced in 2007. So in brief, Android is an operating system for mobile devices. These are the Android versions which has evolved so far, and Google has named all these projects in a name of a desert, and you can see the order of these version names are according to the order of the alphabet. Android features. So main basic features offered by Android: beautiful UI, it offers a pleasant user interface, connectivity, the ability to connect with many services like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, storage facility. For storage, it uses the SQLite database, and media support for different formats like PNG, JPG, GIF, and messaging service, web browser, and multitask, that is many applications can be run at the same time in our mobile device, multi-language, and resizable widgets. Android applications. These are the applications which are developed in the Android OS. Normally they are developed using Java language, and once developed, applications can be packaged and easily sold out either through a store such as Google Play or Opera Mobile Store, etc. And many Android applications are available in the market which fall into different categories. Here you can see the different categories of an Android application. You can find the Android applications in music, sports, travel, business, so social media, food and drink, or multimedia, or any of these categories you can find Android applications. Now let's talk about Android application components, or what Android consists of. Complete Android application development depends on four main components. Here you can see these four main components. They are activity, service, broadcast receiver, and content provider. Let's briefly discuss what each of these components mean. First one is activity. Activity is a single screen in the application with UI components. Actually, it is a single screen in our smartphone, and user is going to interact with the device through this activity. And activity consists of two main files, Java file and an XML file. Java file contains all the logic, where XML file contains the layout of the screen. In the activity, a human interaction is needed. Second one is service. Service is a long-running background process without any human interaction. So for an example, Wi-Fi status, network status, or media player. When we switch on the Wi-Fi in our smartphone, it detects whether Wi-Fi is available or not automatically. Same way in media player, once we start the media player, it will play all the songs or whatever in the list automatically. So that is a service. It does not need any human interaction. Broadcast receiver, the third one. These are registered for system announcements. For an example, when we plug in our headset, it is detected. When charge is connected, it is detected. When power button is pressed, it is detected. So all these things, plug in the headset, plug in the charger, pressing the power button, are broadcast announcements. Broadcast announcements are sent to the application with the help of this broadcast receiver. Last one is the content provider. This enables to share the data between two applications. For an example, WhatsApp can read the data in our contacts application. That is because the contacts application provides a content provider. If not, sharing data between two applications in Android is not possible. So these are the four main components of Android. Now let's see how can we set up the Android environment in order to develop an Android application. For that, first initial requirement is a Java JDK 5 or a later version with its environment variable set in your platform. After that, what you need is one of the Android IDE. It can be Android Studio or Eclipse. In this demonstration, in my demonstration, I'm going to show you with the Android Studio. Okay, now let's see the Android Studio IDE installation demonstration after you have the Java JDK on your machine. For that, first go to the browser and type the URL developer.android.com and press enter. Then you will be directed to the Android homepage. Click on the develop tab and get Android Studio. You can scroll down there. Then you will see different Android Studio packages for these three different platforms. Since I'm gonna do it on Linux platform, I'll be downloading this one. So read the terms and conditions and agree for that and click download Android Studio zip file. Then it will get downloaded. Okay, the download is over now. So let's go to the download folder. CD downloads, and yes, you can see the zip file of the Android Studio. Now the first thing you have to do is to extract it. Okay, for that you have to type sudo unzip and give the name of the zip folder and give the destination where you want to unzip this. Here I am using a separate I'm maintaining a separate folder for the softwares. There in the Android folder I am giving the destination, so the extraction occurs. After the extraction is over, move to the destination and I am inside it, and after that move to the bin folder of this extracted Android Studio folder. Inside the bin folder we can see studio.sh file. First of all, we need to set the permission of this file. For that you have to type sudo chmod 777, that is giving the full permission, and your file. studio.sh. Okay, now we can execute this. You will get the first installation window. There they ask whether you want to import settings or whether it is new. Since this is my first installation of Android, I'll select the second option and click OK. Okay, then you will be getting a message system help, and actually you can just ignore this. Then click next in this installation wizard, in the setup wizard, and I'm going to choose the standard option. So here the settings, you have to click next, and in the emulator setting click finish. Then the required components will be downloaded in this process. Now the downloading of the components is finished. Then click the finish button in this window. Then you will get the Welcome to Android Studio wizard window. There you will be presented with many options where you can start a new Android Studio project, or you can open existing Android Studio project. So here you have the configure options where you can configure many things. I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a desktop entry for all the users so I can access it using that entry. Okay, now the Android Studio is installed. Now let's see how are we going to create a new project, a new simple project in this Android Studio IDE. First go to the file in the menu bar and new, and new project. Then you get the new project screen. There enter a file name. I will put hello world and give the domain name as you require. Package name and project location name comes filled in default, and keep the default values and click next. Then you will get the target Android devices screen. There just select the standard given values, but make sure that this phone and tablet option is selected. Here this minimum SDK, what is this? This is the earliest version of Android that your app supports. So in order to support many devices, that means in order for your app to support many devices as possible, you have to make sure you select the lowest possible API version of your app. Here the 15 is selected, which is the lowest possible. Then click next. Then you will get the add an activity to mobile screen. Here for the simple application, select the empty activity. Other than that, as you go along in this Android journey, you will get to use different types of activities. Then you will get the customized activity screen. Here keep the default names and click finish. Now your new Android application will get loaded. This is the project structure of a simple Android project. You can see there are two main directories. One is app directory and Gradle scripts. Inside this app directory, three main another directories can be seen: Mainfest, Java and Resorts, indicated by RES. Inside the Mainfest directory, there is a file called Android Mainfest.xml. You can see it's an XML file. This file gives the complete description of the project. So complete description in the sense, what is the packaging name, here as you can see, and what is the application icon and how many activities are there, As you can see, there is just one activity in this application, and how many services are there, and what are the permissions of the applications. Like that, all the description or characteristics of the application are stated in this Android manifest.xml file. This is a very important file because Android platform, before going to install the application and before going to start the application, is going to read this Android manifest.xml file. Then there are two other folders, Java folder, Java directory, and resource directory. Inside the Java directory, all the Java classes are contained, and inside the resource directory, all the resources you need for the application are contained. In this drawable directory of the resource, under the resource directory, it contains all the icons which you use in your application. In layout, it contains all the layout XML files in this application. Like that, all the resources are in this resource folder, including any JPG or PNGs you are going to use in this application. And we talked previously, a single screen contains two files, that is, one is a Java file and the other one is a XML file. So this Java file is called the activity. As you can see, this is the activity or the Java file for a single screen, and the other file for a screen needed is the layout file. The layout file is found under the resource directory in the layout folder, which is named as activity-main.xml. So a single screen is made up of one Java file and one XML file. So this layout XML file defines all the layout components in your screen. For an example, you can see in this one a text view and a checkbox. So all the UI components are designed in this activity-main.xml, and all the logic is stated in this main activity.java file. For an example, if you want a button, you can set it in this layout file, just drag and drop, and you can give ID and all the information, so you can set the layout of this button. But if you want some action to occur once you click on this button, that logic is configured in this Java file, that is main activity.java. So how it's going to take this resource or this button into this Java file? So there should be something which helps to take this button from the XML file to this Java file. That is with the help of this, as you can see, this R file. R is a Java file. So this is an abstraction between this Java class and this resource. And the Gradle scripts. Gradle scripts, Android uses the Gradle to compile and build your application, and there is one build.gradle file for each of the module in your project, and also there is a build.gradle file for your entire project. Hope you got some basic understanding on Android and its structure and what are the main features of Android. You can get the continuation of this Android presentation towards the advanced direction by my colleague Menuka. Thank you.